This is the W2 report with Sanji Himura. Here's Sanji.
Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I'm your host Sanji Himura. Today, we take a look at the DEI Playbook, Episode 3, Part 2.
Is this actually episode 3?
Yeah, this is actually the third episode of the whole series.
Okay. Thought I'd ask. Rule number 1, be not the dick. Rule number 2, if thou art being the dick, please refer to rule number 1. Rule 3, if thou continuest to be the dick and ignore rule number 1, we reserve the right to make you go away. As in, stay out of our chat, off the Discord servers, all of that. Already clear. No contacting the people we're talking about for the purposes of trolling. If you have further questions, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
Get it? Got it? Excellent.
Yep. Good. Let's proceed. Bringing up the rear, we have Mr. Lindgren.
All right. Let the games continue, I guess.
All right.
Are you gentlemen ready? If not, are you going to be ready? Are you going to get any more be any more ready in the next 2 minutes or ever?
Well,
please hold the back end stuff going on for Croc right now.
Yeah.
All right.
That was the joke. That was the joke. If you're not ready now, when will you be ready? And if it's not, and if the time's not short enough, you're screwed. You're just never going to be ready. So let's get on with it.
Here is the DEI playbook. I am actually going to blow this up because we're doing this directly from StreamYard this week instead of a web browser. So, without any further ado, actually, let's make one. Let's make one little change. There we go. Well, no, that's going to interfere with the thing. So, there we go. All right. Achievement 2: Intersectionality. Explore and understand the role of intersectionality in authentic, multi-dimensional characters that will resonate with your players. Introduction. The term intersectionality was coined by scholar Kimberly Crenshaw and considers how an individual's various identities can combine or intersect to create unique experiences of oppression and discrimination.
Yes, that's a thing. And I still I still suggest that this woman should not have been taken seriously on any level.
Well, let's bring up the woman in question. Squirrel, you can do that.
I can do that?
Yeah.
Does that mean you want me to read that? Because I don't have it up and that's not big enough.
Well, no. Actually, hold on just a second. No, I was referring to the picture of Kimberly Crenshaw, but we could.
Oh yes, never mind. I got you. I got it. There we go.
Miss Crenshaw.
Crenshaw. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I do like that.
All right. This is Kimberly Crenshaw, born 1959.
Okay.
She has
makes her almost as old as my mother.
She has a BA from Cornell University. She has a JD from Harvard. She has an LLM from the University of Wisconsin Law School. And guess what she's a proponent of?
DEI.
Critical race
white
theory.
People dying. Yeah.
Yeah, critical race theory and also feminist legal theory. She first coined the term intersectionality in 1989, though the concept existed as far back as 1851
Yes.
with Sojourner Truth and the
Yep.
speech, "Ain't I a Woman?"
Yes, the Gender Truth was in fact a woman. Does that give her an excuse to like yell and scream and blow people up? No, because later on, Sojourner Truth would go on would assist in the founding of the suffragettes, who would stop at nothing to make sure that the men folk voted to give them their voting, to give them the right to vote.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women at the time didn't want the right to vote. Why? Because that meant that they might be how they call that, drafted.
Yes. Okay, you can bring up the other thing again.
Give me a second. Back to the meme.
No, back to
And then there's this.
Back to the, yes.
And then there is this. This is hilarious in every way, shape, or form. They put a narrative on this doll that she has hearing loss. But if she has hearing loss and this is special, then maybe the rest of the American Girl doll series has been
spying on you.
Yeah, reporting back to the Phoebes, the CIA, whatever.
Totally unrelated how DEI politicking functions.
Okay, back to the other thing. Back to the playbook.
Yeah, I have to admit, I am a bit confused by the assertion in here about how my various identities can combine or intersect to create unique experiences of oppression and discrimination. It's yes, I am capable of uniquely creating experiences of oppression and discrimination for others, but I use only one of my identities for that. I don't mix and match my driver's licenses.
And people yell at me for saying that I identify as a crocus woman. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like, I know I'm a goblin. I just identify legally as a human.
All right. Next page. Why it matters. Thinking about character design through an intersectional lens will improve diverse representation in your game and allow for more accurate portrayals of your characters' identities. For example,
examples.
Queer characters should be racially diverse to accurately reflect the real-world queer community. And thinking about the interaction of race and queer identity will lead to white, Latinx, and Black queer characters portrayed in ways that reflect their unique experiences as queer people of color or as white queer people. What the fuck did I just read?
Okay, first off, that last bit distinguishes white people from all other people, and that's racist. It really is.
Actually, the racism that I'm sticking on is that that slur against Hispanics that she shoved between white and black. Just say Hispanic.
Okay, now here's more of this. Here is more of this. She's referring to queer people, which makes up probably about which in reality makes up maybe 2% of the population. trans, and
8% with a liberal estimate, yeah.
even if we went to 5%, the so-called people of color, black people, about 13%, all clustered in certain cities.
She's
in
also
large
refusing. She's
mostly in
also
large urban environments.
Yeah, she's also refusing to acknowledge how the larger black community responds to black queer people. I wonder why she's ignoring that.
Because the general response is not great.
Yeah, because the general response is politically incorrect.
Yes.
But she can't call out that politically incorrect because that would also be politically incorrect, calling that out.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Catch-22. You can't, no matter what you got. Okay. The gay community can also, which does in fact cover the lesbians, so we're going to go with that. Doesn't represent a very large portion of society either. Okay, we're getting to the point where we're comfortable with gay people. We stopped giving a shit whether you're gay or not. I don't care. If you don't tell me, I don't know. You want to bring your boyfriend over and introduce him as your boyfriend. Now I know, but I still don't care. As long as you do what you need, what I need you to do, what I'm paying you to do, I don't give a flying rat's fuck. If you're a friend of mine, I don't know and I don't care. Even when I do know, I still don't care. Okay. If you hit on me, I will tell you that I'm flattered, but that's not going to happen. And that has happened to me a number of times. A rather alarmingly large number of times, but that's not here nor there. And if you push it, I will say the same thing, only firmer this time. Get this through your thick fucking skull. And if you try and get me while I'm sleeping or reportedly not paying attention, you try and do something obnoxious, I will take your fucking head off. No, really. I will put your ass through a wall. And then the last thing you will see, or the last thing you will experience, is your asshole traveling through your skull. That's it. Just because you want to do something in your bedroom doesn't mean I want to do it with you.
Yeah.
I am more than happy to live and let live. However, that's not here nor there. This is a situation in which they insist that we represent everybody. There's a problem with that. One, if you already have established characters from earlier in your little universe thing, race swapping them is not gonna work.
See Alan Wake
2, and more specifically, Saga Anderson. The Alan Wake series happens in the same universe as Control and Quantum Break. Saga Anderson appears to brief the character or the protagonist. She is white as the driven snow, and blonde, which actually matches her name. It is a Nordic name. Saga is used both in Norwegian and Swedish. Anderson, well, she could have got that from almost anywhere, but its roots are still in still Northern European. I've seen some black people called Anderson, I'm fine with that. But having to rebuild the model, retexture it, and hope like hell that nobody notices. Bad idea. Saga Anderson was out. She's also had FBI identification in Quantum Break.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that woman there is now trans black.
Wow.
She is. She's trans black.
Oh, like Rachel Dolezal.
Except that Rachel Dolezal couldn't really get the darkness of the skin. Talcum X doesn't have the darkness of the skin in any way, shape, or form. Rachel Dolezal had to do a whole lot of work to keep her hair and her skin not just darker, but in those curls that she had.
Yeah.
Good skin, good hair, that kind of thing. Meaning that you were actually lighter toned. Especially up until about the middle 1960s. But yeah, no, you race swap somebody, and this is the problem they had with the Little Mermaid, that live action movie. Remember that one? They took Hans Christian Andersen and turned her and Hans Christian Andersen's mermaid and turned her and made her, and forced her to be black. Hermione has been black on stage. They there was a Harry Potter TV show in which Severus Snape, which is one of a very few characters in any of Rowling's work that gets a specific thing description.
But you don't understand. It's J.K. Rowling, so those two characters were always black and gay.
Bullshit. We also had another one where I think I might have been a stage play. It may have been a TV show. I think it was actually a documentary. They turned Anne Boleyn black. Ptolemy and Cleopatra black.
Or I think that was a Netflix documentary.
Well, not being a Netflix documentary explains a great many things. Anne Boleyn was white as the driven snow, same as her husband Henry, because she was, I believe, I want to say she was either French or Austrian. Don't remember which. Anne Boleyn was not black. So.
All right, continuing on.
Yes.
Intersectionality and the nuances of representation. Accurate representation requires considering identity intersections and their nuances. An intersectional lens considers the intersection of gender, race, age, class, and other identities, and the impact of multiple systems of bias and or prejudice on a character's internal identity and how the character is perceived.
Okay. With thanks to Marx and Engels.
Mm-hmm.
Actually more Karl Marx than Engels, than Joseph Engels. Yes, this is, well, it's outright bullshit is what it is. Because you won't be able to get all of the identities unless you can speak to the person. And even then you may decide they have identities that they don't even know about.
Mm-hmm.
Another problem with this is that it completely ignores culture, because a lot of the stereotypes behavioral stereotypes come from a culture of that behavior.
Also, from the time in which those things happen, you cannot judge judge the 1820s by the 2020s. It doesn't work. You can't even.
Right.
The same would be true of the 1920s compared to the 1820s, and 1920s to here.
Mhm.
And additionally, you can't make that same. You can't make the same thing. You can't make the same comparison between 1992 and say 1492, whereupon which is
Right.
what some there are some projects that seem to insist, and I have no fucking idea why, but they appear to want to insist that that's when slavery in the United States started. What people don't understand is that less than 10% of the people that were taken as slaves came to the United States. I think it's actually closer to 5. I don't remember clearly, but the overwhelming majority went to Brazil, of all places.
Yes.
Because the overwhelming, again, the largest number of transatlantic slave traders were Portuguese.
Yes.
In fact, if you go to Brazil today, everybody is very dark. And if you were a white person wandering around, they will ask you if you're sick or call you a ghost. Or do any one of a number of other things that will lead to you, the white person, being discriminated against. If you go to South Africa, you have a 50-50 chance of being shot walking down the street.
Yeah.
Looking up at the buildings, they'll just shoot you dead.
Yeah.
And the black guy, girl, whatever that did it, will not see punishment.
They'll actually be seen as a hero.
They'll be seen as a hero because it's death to the boer. The problem with that, and the problem with all of that, is that the British can be exampled. The British built railways all the way through Africa. 90% of that, through lack of maintenance, has rotted away. It's gone.
Right.
And do you know why? Seems true of
Trains
India.
Trains are a white man's thing.
No, is that the overwhelming majority of Africans, they see things as transitory. They don't understand. A lot of people there, and there are a few, like I don't think Swahili even has a word for maintenance. The maintenance was never done, and nobody gave a shit. It's like the Indians from India. They where was I going? Oh yeah, they immediately after the British left, they immediately fell back on old habits.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them still speak English. Some of them are still. Some of them have actually maintained the behavior and the culture of the British, but the overwhelming majority of Indians would be much happier if the British came back. That's a thing.
Right. Okay.
Next, please. Sorry.
Examples of intersectionality in media. At the intersection of gender, race, and skin tone, differences emerge in terms of both who is on screen and the prominence of their role. Asian women are more likely than white women and other women of color to be visually and verbally objectified on screen. Harmful tropes about Muslims have existed on screen for decades, but these tropes vary for Muslim men and Muslim women. Read more here.
Okay, we're not going to the read more here because you guys can get a copy of the thing and ask them. Because the rest of this is just not going to end well.
All I'll say about those harmful tropes is culture of behavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you are not of Islam, you were supposed to be paying Islam for the right to continue to exist anywhere near them.
Yeah, you pay a protection tax.
You pay a protection tax. I forget what it's called. Hijah? I think that's
Jizya.
it. Huh?
Jizya.
Jizya, yeah. I know I was close. I was close. It's been a while since I did a video on Muslims. But they are children of the book, but their book got kind of that.
Well, they're
they
selectively
are a Semitic religion, and they are Semitic people.
They're actually not. The more I've come to read about them, the Semitic connection is completely fabricated.
Okay, so let's go. Let's get tucked in here. They follow a path of war and violence. They commit war and violence upon others. The idea of Islamophobia, completely understandable.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't like Muslims, it's that you're terrified they're going to do something to you. Terrorists bomb places to scare people. You know, terror doesn't take a fucking degree in Latin to see where that comes from.
Yes.
If you spend enough time blowing people up and otherwise terrorizing them, they are going to react badly to your continued existence near them. That's just all.
Yeah, I've decided.
What I find hilarious is that New York City seems to have forgotten 9/11. It hasn't even been 15 years.
Yeah, my own stance is that I've come to completely oppose Islamophobia in all its forms because it means that the wrong people are afraid.
Yes.
But the average person
complete.
The average person is actually quite terrified of the Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Very.
Yeah, and that's why I believe in the Second Amendment.
A lot of people, more people should. In my opinion, more people should. Are they going to? Probably
not.
No. Yeah.
A lot of people seem to think that weapons are a bad thing. But if you take away my guns and I have to start throwing rice paddies to the shooting range, that's going to not end well for anyone. But jokes aside, if they take away your guns, the outlaws will still have them. Still.
Yeah, I believe.
And some people know how to make them.
Yeah, I believe Cloyd Rivers said it best. If I have 7 guns and the government takes away 7 guns, how many do I have left? The answer is 26. I lied about the 7. America.
The government takes away all your guns. Now, what's next? Knives? You're going to take away all the knives.
UK is
I want to
experimenting with
see
that
you
right now.
go into a 5-star restaurant and take the chef's cooking knives. I want to see you do that, and I want to see and then I want to see what's left of you after chef is done.
Yeah,
because that's definitely a thing that will end badly. you will spend the rest of your life in great amounts of pain.
We have achieved key 1.
Or yeah,
Are we done with
yeah.
T1?
The take
We are
action
done with
is watch
done
Kimberly's. Yeah, the take action is watch Kimberly's cringe video on the TED stage, and then explore more about intersectionality from Dr. Elena Hank Hill.
Well, and see, now we can use up some more time discussing how that works in video game narratives.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
we
simple. It doesn't.
Okay, if you write that way, you're going to wind up with you are 99% likely to end up with an unrepresentative sample.
Oh yeah.
Says how many people can you write? Can we write for a single video game? Anybody?
One, the main character. Actually, no.
The main character will interact with people that have their own lives, their own narratives.
Yeah.
But
in terms of writing characters, it's missing the single most critical part of a character: what they want.
Yeah. What do they want? What do they need? Do they have a family? Is mom sick? Is dad sick? Is mom dead? And or dad? How about the children? Did they get taken by the local goblin horde? And if so, the goblin shaman that is running it, we need to take care of him, but he has needs too. I mean, we can keep going. We really can. The largest number of characters that I had ever written into one game was 15. And I had a real hard time keeping them all straight.
Yeah.
Okay. Of which, let's see, of which 8 were Japanese. 3, no, there were 17 characters. 3 of them were black. 1 Indian. That's about right. That's all right. No, it's. Oh, right. I forgot. Did I forget the white people? Because there were several of those too. But that was the total. We had no gay representation. Actually, no, that's a lie. We even had one of those. Just one, though. Just one. Is this a thing? Is this going to be a thing? Sure, it could be a thing. Oh, we also had a cyborg on. We also had a cyborg on board and 2 exotics mixed into the whole lot.
Okay, so looks like we have a decision to make.
That was actually fairly diverse. Are there enough black people to make it worth it for this purpose, or enough Asians, or enough anything else? No, because the most diverse photo in the world ever to exist was, I think it was 12 black women of various heights and weights. Think about that.
Yeah.
And it was done in black and white. I think it was 12. I don't know. Whatever. However many women there were. I still think it was 12 or something near there.
All right. So it looks like we have a decision to make. We can stop the stream right now and nobody would be none the wiser. except for replay crew. Or we can start on key 2 today.
What do you think, Lynn?
I can keep going.
Okay. I'm fine.
All right, let's bring back the
have,
playbook.
I still have plenty of stories.
All right,
Oh, I
let's
forgot.
bring back the playbook.
I forgot one thing actually about that group from the visual novel.
Yeah.
Half of them were women. Half of them were women, and that was so I could keep breeding pairs. Which means my count was right. It wasn't 15 or 17. It was probably 18. I can go back and check. It's been a while. I know how.
All right, so key 2, craft stories. Overview. This section is divided into 3 achievements that you can work towards as you craft your game. Context. If your game is set in a real time and place from history, what historical and cultural realities do you want to reflect? Incorporate research, expert consultation, and collaboration with team members to make these choices. Challenge.
I immediately have a question for challenge 1. What if the game is not set in a real time and place?
That's probably their next chunk. And they're going to say, well, in which case you can do anything you want to it. And if you don't do it my way, you will automatically be all the racist.
You can do anything we want with it.
Yep.
The Mussolini answer.
Well, the visual novel I was talking about starts in 2122. And it runs until 2125. 3 years of school for them. And all of them handpicked to be on this particular crew.
Challenge. Develop narratives and characters that actively challenge identity-based stereotypes and biases. Counter narrative. Write more. What? What was that, Squirrel?
Repeat that.
Counter narrative.
No. The second challenge. Develop narratives and characters that actively challenge identity-based stereotypes and biases.
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. If you do it right, you won't have to.
Yeah.
You will. This is not a writing step. This is I demand that you do this. We don't need the counterculture in everything. In fact, we rarely need it in anything, which is why the video gamers or the gamers have started ignoring AAA games. They're going back to the old stuff that doesn't have those that level of propaganda. I don't want to put propaganda in my shit.
Yeah, it's a bizarre.
And there's plenty of reasons why.
Yeah, it's this bizarre phenomenon that nobody is interested in male wet nurses.
But if you go poking around for 5 seconds, that what she's talking about is not hard to do.
Yeah,
it's nobody's interested, and they'll be even less interested in your next product if you do that.
Right.
But typically, messing with any narrative that way is a real fast way to go off on a tangent and to go off on all the tangents and make it that much harder for you to even finish your game. Because the first thing you're gonna get is fucking scope creep.
Yes.
And the last thing you want is scope creep. That's why we build a design document first. We know what we're doing, in what order, and you stick to your design document unless you have other issues that need to be addressed in the middle. Player feedback, not focus groups, player feedback. You get some people that you know. You show it to your friends first. Your friends, colleagues, etc. You show it to them first. Then you go out and you put an ad on TikTok or something, on Fiverr, if you're okay with paying people to do this. Find a VN community that actually likes the kind of things that you're doing. Itch.io, all those things.
Right.
Put out a demo on Itch.io. Just they're going to lap it up. And Itch.io is not bothered by the things that actually hobble the Steam store. If you put out, I don't know, a hentai game, a porn game, Itch.io will cycle it through on the thank you for downloading page, or the little box that pops up when you download one. Here, how about this? And if they like the look of it, they'll click that.
Yeah.
Me, if I see more than one, I go right click, open a new tab. Right click, open a new tab. That's the thing that happens at Itch.io. You can do that on Steam, but that's a recent development.
Right.
Okay. And then when they finish the demo, those that hate it will tell you, and oftentimes they'll tell you what they hate. Those that think it's really good won't always tell you the best bits, but it still gives you a direction to go in, and you have to make the decision. And they will definitely tell you about bugs. If there's a bug somewhere, they'll definitely tell your ass about that. No questions asked. None at all, ever. Most of the bitching will be about bugs.
Yes.
They'll tell you all of these things. And then you're going to have to figure out what might work, what's definitely not working, and go from there. But again, you get players, people that are actually going to play your game. If you focus test for an incredibly small audience, then you're not going to get data that's worth a fuck. Because I know how to get hundreds or thousands of people to look at something because it's free. Even if it's a demo, it's free. It's free. And if they decide to follow, they'll get when we put up a new dev diary, it'll show up in their email. Or if you bought one and it gets an update or a dev diary, that particular object, they'll send you an email, unless you tell them that you don't want any emails at all. Think about that. That's the way you do your research. You should get a fairly good sized sample. And you will know how many people got it, how many people grabbed it and didn't engage after that. You're not going to go after them, and you should not, because they don't want to be. Chances are they don't want to be bothered. They don't want you to bother them. I can understand that. I'll give that one to them. but you should get enough. You should get enough information to at least get somewhere. And
Yes.
if you've got, say, if you've got a sample of, say, 1,000, and 500 of them say this thing doesn't work for me, then maybe you want to go back and have a look at that. If one guy is screaming about how it doesn't run on his system, despite the fact that a visual novel will usually run on an abacus attached to the side of a dinosaur, a big dinosaur, not the ones we have now.
Yeah.
You know, attached to like a brachiosaur or an argentinosaur. Huge fuckers. Or if you really want to live dangerously, a Gigantosaurus, which is actually a much larger and similar creature to the T-Rex. They're not T-Rexes. They're not related, as far as I know, to T-Rexes, but they were very similar critters. So, yeah. You got one guy screaming that it won't run on his system. Well, fine. Figure your shit out. That's 99% likely to be a you problem. 99.998 actually % chance it's it's a you problem and not a me problem. Because I know I included an option to download the Linux tarball and the Mac OS and the Mac OS DMGs. I might have actually packed it all in the same file. You can't figure it out. That stops being my problem. It really does. 99% chance the problem is PEBCAC anyway. Which is still a you problem.
All right.
But introducing those narratives, that's going to get way more bitching.
All right. Counter narrative. Write more complex stories and broader narrative opportunities by featuring diverse perspectives, voices, and experiences using creativity and innovation.
Okay. She doesn't have anything on a diversity of ideas. Or diversity
of course not.
Experience she has. Experiences, that's a thing she has. But the idea there's a variety of perspectives that can be obtained, even when everybody in the room is melanin challenged.
Idea diversity is unethical.
Well, and in some ways, the way it's been treated tends to create that.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad. It shouldn't do. That's not something it should do.
All right. We may have some more fun in the next section.
Someone will have to. It is.
Unfortunately, it's
we are
getting
running short on time. We're not out yet. What?
Yeah,
what?
I was about to say we're running short on time.
We can still do it. We can still at least dig into it a bit, just as long as we don't go on forever. Let's at least see what it is.
Okay, introduction. This step considers the building blocks for crafting representation in equality in gaming narratives. After all, these narratives are the backdrop for your characters' identities.
All right.
Identities. Please note that it's identities plural. Please note.
Yeah, in connection with the counter narrative, this is just giving me Assassin's Creed Shadows flashbacks because instead of research, he wrote diverse perspective, voices, and experiences using creativity and innovation instead of knowledge.
And that's just it.
Okay.
As far as anybody in Japan knows, Yasuke is a legendary figure and no more.
Yeah. He is a figure that existed and nothing else.
Actually, there are questions of whether or not Yasuke actually existed.
Yeah.
And if he did, he was he was a bureaucrat that held down the fort while Tokugawa was off on the war trail, and he only did that for a few months
Yeah.
before he was run off.
Shipped
He
back
was
to his
run off that
master.
land,
Delivered back to his slave master.
and then they found out that the Dutchman that had accidentally left him there was back, so they gave him back to the Dutchman, who then put him back in chains.
Yeah.
Yasuke was not a samurai. He couldn't have been a samurai. Samurai were trained almost from birth to
Yeah.
be samurai.
Samurai is a place within a caste system, basically.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm gonna have to
Anybody that
step out
says
for a second.
otherwise is actually very ignorant. Because I talked to a friend of mine who is in fact a Japanese historian, and I asked him about Yasuke, and he laughed at me.
Yeah.
He laughed at me. Who's that? Nah. That was random fuckery by some dude that wrote a Wikipedia article that too many people took seriously.
Yeah. All right,
Stick
go on,
that in
Sanji.
your pipe and be smoking it, and do the smoking. Seriously.
I gotta
do
step
that.
out for a couple of minutes, Mr. Land. Can you cover time period for me?
Time period. Does your narrative occur in a real place or a time, like during the Middle Ages or the U.S. Civil War? If you err for cultural accuracy, research the political, social, and cultural realities of that time period. History is far more varied than is often portrayed, so explore the perspectives and experiences of non-dominant groups from that period. Those realities shape your story and the identities of all the characters in your world. Be sensitive to historical treatment of marginalized people and if or how you choose to portray the realities of that time. Be aware that players may have mixed reactions when a game attempts to address historical inequities with new possibilities, such as the option to play the role of a Civil War general as a woman. Historical-based video games are inherently fictional, so players are literally stepping into the past. So taking inspiration from history to create a contemporary, engaging, and inclusive player experience will naturally involve some elements of creative freedom if the intent of the game is entertainment. All right, first thing that's coming to mind for me is what if you have the option to play as one of the slaves who fought for the Confederacy, the black people who fought for the Confederacy in that game.
Oh, that would be a fact. That was actually a thing.
Yeah.
But anybody with half a brain and that has passed a fucking history, that has passed a history class, will look at a female
general. Yeah.
At a female Ulysses S. Grant, or Jefferson Davis, or any one of 100 other people. Yeah, no, they're going to get nine kinds of pissed off. They are. There will be screaming all the way down.
Yeah, it's like
And
the
as
core.
such,
the core
and
thrust
as
of
such, your critter will flop.
Yeah, the core thrust of this paragraph is taking liberties with history is perfectly okay as long as you're doing it for our narrative, not for anyone else's, just our narrative.
And realize that these things are not inherently fictional. There is fact behind them, and if you ignore the facts behind them, you are going to have problems. Severus Snape comes to mind again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Severus Snape got a very detailed description in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and it was occasionally brought back up in later books. Think about that, Mr. Riddle.
Yeah,
The same would be true of of generals on either side. Hell, even officers. But in the north, you actually had the odd black non-com. The officers for those units were white, and the men were black. And you know what the sad part of it is? Everybody had to get on.
Yeah,
And the black people on the north, they had to volunteer to do this. Be they paid servant or slave, and slavery in the north was actually quite rare at that time. Slavery was on the way out in the south. It was.
Yeah.
It was already on the way out by that time. Because we were after 1808. We can't, and on the Constitution, we can't import slaves anymore after 1808. So there you go with that.
Yeah, this paragraph actually starts with a lie. It's like, be aware that players may have mixed reactions. It's very much underplaying that it would be a near unanimous reaction.
Yes. Well, and then this has been underplay central from the word go.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to be looking for sympathy from me, and they're not going to get it. They just aren't. Okay. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I got that shit for $3. I played it, and then I put it away.
Yeah.
Because that shit was fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, and then I didn't bother with Concord. I saw what they were doing with it, and I said, no, we're not going to do that. Very simple. A lot of people joined me in this. Hogwarts Legacy. There was one character that was reported to be trans by the gaming media because that deep voice was giving her away. No. I've met women with voices like that. Most of those women, their voices got all fucked up as a result of an injury, other similar thing. Others, not so much. I know of one girl that was like that from the word go.
Yeah, this paragraph, for me personally, it reminds me of this game I've wanted to make. That's literally a gender swap battlefield called Badge of Dishonor, where every character is a beautiful woman.
Oh dear.
It is purely entertainment value.
As long as you know what, you will probably get away with that.
Yeah,
and you know why? All you have to do is market it similar to what the marketing for Yasuke doing. Yeah. That's it. That's all you have to do.
And of course, the forces of evil are led by Adolfina. Black. It's like a shapely black woman, similar to Grace Jones in terms of appearance.
You know what? I'd buy that.
Yeah.
I would. I'd buy that. That shit would kick ass.
Yeah, it would.
Besides, as an actress, I like Grace Jones. She's done very, very, very good work. We liked her character from Conan the Destroyer, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how like the video game industry is kind of forgotten that more black women exist than just Deborah Wilson.
Do not get me started about that. Yeah. Just don't get me started. I'm not going to say anything untoward. If they
No,
go
it's like
back AD.
she's good as what she does. She's basically a female Nolan North for character models at this point.
Okay, here we go. We've hit Mafia 3.
Oh dear. And I'll be honest with you, I've played Mafia 3. It had problems. It had big problems, especially in the character compartment.
Especially technical issues.
Oh yeah, them too. But then, to my mind, the whole thing was a technical issue.
In 2016's Mafia 3, you play as Lincoln. If I can talk English today, Lincoln.
Speak English, English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Oh, sorry.
A 23-year-old man of mixed race who goes on a New Orleans-like city to find redemption and revenge against the mob. The developers at Hangar 13 carefully developed the environment, characters, music, and narrative. Mafia 3 team featured a black queer senior writer and a diverse team that prioritized historical accuracy and authentic representation in the 1960s in the U.S. South, leading to a powerful backdrop for the story. There's actually an NPR article saying how one video game unflinchingly tackles racism with history and raw interactions here.
Unfortunately, it forgot to let's see here, broaden the narrative opportunities through creativity and innovation by making Lincoln Clay a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to make
They
Lincoln
failed
Clay
on that front completely.
Hey, no. We have to make her. We have to make Lincoln a woman and gay.
Yeah. A black lesbian. Good point.
Oh, but she must also be wheelchair bound and have.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Black wheelchair bound non-binary in the 1960s.
Do your characters reflect the environment in which the story takes place? It doesn't matter if the environment is imagined. A rich world leads to a rich variety of identities. Ask questions. Are there a specific set of rules for your world? Is there a social structure? Characters emerge from a set of social structures that afford certain advantages and limit others.
Can I say something here?
Go right ahead.
Every story has a social structure. We can't necessarily determine what it is until we start writing. But sooner or later, as if any two people have to interact, there is a social structure.
Mm-hmm.
There must be. I tend to prefer military social structures when I write, but I can do corporate as well. Actual federal politics on the per the United States, yeah, not as much. But if you have two people in the same space at the same time that must interact, there is a social structure. There are no questions. Okay. It's like that, what was it? The Rittenhouse game. The only social structure involved there is that you just walked out of court a free man and the zombies are after you. Okay. And the player must control Kyle to gun down all the bullshit. That's it. That's all. That is just all. Okay. But you have Mario, the original Mario Brothers, and it even had something of a social sort of hierarchy. We have Peach, who has been kidnapped, or she was called Princess at the time. I forgot. We have Mario.
She was actually called she was called Princess Toadstool at the time.
Yes, she became Peach at some point, and I just didn't care. She's Peach now because she's been Peach for at least 25 years.
Since
And
Mario 64, actually.
We've got 30 years. So, we have the rescuer, the rescuee, and the kidnapper, who is a fire-breathing turtle lizard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the social hierarchy actually belongs to the fire-breathing lizard turtle thing, because it has monsters that are under its control. You know,
right.
Doug Bowser was really busy that afternoon. They get their monsters and they go out. Bowser is just that away. Over there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else do we have? What else would be good? Because there are a handful of games. Oh, Pac-Man. Or better, Galaxian. You don't actually have interactions aside from I'm going to shoot you. They don't communicate in any real way. Pac-Man, on the other hand, can touch the ghosties. And if he touches the ghosties at the wrong time, he dies. If he touches them at the right time, they get de-rezzed and they come back later. Usually about 15 seconds, anywhere between 5 seconds and a minute, depending on how far you've gotten in the game. So yeah, that's a thing. That is absolutely a thing.
Oh yeah, if you don't mind what's going through the rest of the environment and world building, it's turns out my roguelike has some interesting answers for this. Yeah, it's let's see. Ask questions. Is there a specific set of rules for your world? Is there a social structure? Characters emerge from a set of social structures that afford certain advantages and limit others. For example, adding a black female protagonist to a game without thinking how this character's race and gender shape her experience in her fictional world makes her identity less meaningful. To bring depth to your character, reflect on your world's broader social structures. Simply swapping character identities to create the appearance of a diverse cast won't have the same effect. Funnily enough, my roguelike actually has a very interesting answer for this section, because everybody is essentially a pile of money waiting to get summoned. So it's like everyone's identity is meaningless until they prove themselves to be worth more than the money they would have been turned into.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not wrong, though.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like, is there a social structure? Well, yeah, it's like the caves are full of bandits, so of course there's going to be a social structure. And it's like, can you be the top evil dog if you're going to be the head of the bandits? And it's like, as far as race and gender go, it's like, they're not going to care about race and gender. They're only going to care about what your character does.
And why would they give a shit about race and gender?
Yeah. Well, it's I'm also It's like down the road, I will add paying attention to race and gender, but that's definitely going to bring the mainly gender. That'll paying attention to gender will really bring down the angry swarm of race, the sexist decriers. Well, gee, these bandits recognize that a man could easily beat up a woman.
Oh, you're going to get some real stimulating email over that.
Yeah. The death threats will be hilarious.
Well, you know what? When you go to read those, I want to see.
Yeah.
I will sell tickets. I will pay money.
Yes.
Well, no, not really. I don't have money. I don't have money to pay, but I will sell tickets.
Yeah.
I'll give you half. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We could do it on a live stream too.
Yeah.
No, then we really have to sell tickets.
Yeah. Just like what we're going to do in Washington State. We are going to be at the Washington State Gaming Expo in Puyallup, Washington on February 6th through 8th.
It's not Puyallup. It's not Puyallup. It's Puyallup.
Puyallup.
On February,
straight. And if
on
you say
February,
that, if you say that on stage, they're going to call you a tourist and walk out.
I am a tourist, technically speaking.
They're not gonna take that, especially the locals. And if the locals can't correct you immediately, you're not getting any respect.
We're going to be at the Washington State Gaming Expo in Washington State on February 6th through 8th, 2026 for the W2 Report live at the with the Washington Chronicles. What kind of mischief can we do in 1 hour? Find out if we're approved. We're going to be there anyway just to hang out with you.
We can do it. We can do a get together. So anybody, so we will figure out a place to hang and then maybe play some tabletop role playing games or whatever. Bring your computer, bring your favorite console, whatever. We'll figure something out.
Yes, we'll figure something out. We're actually going to be there from Tuesday the 3rd until the 10th. So we can figure something out for a after party or something like that. Just as a way of closing, we will resume Key 2 Achievement 1 on Thursday's cycle. And then we're going to cover, and then from there we're going to cover the DEI playbook once a week until we finish it off.
Which will be a while.
Yeah.
Which will be a
long while.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even get through a page we got through a page and a half today. Not even 2.
I think we barely covered 2 pages today. Given the concept. Given the fact that we covered we covered 3 pages from the old key. From the old key, today. Remember to do all the YouTube things, and I will thank you personally from the bottom of my heart.
Like, comment, subscribe, show everybody whether you know them or not. Especially if you don't know them, because they're the ones that actually need to know.
Yes.
They super need to know.
Yes. And I have been Sanji Himura. Thank you for watching the W2 Report. And beware, the tax man cometh.
Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast today. I'm Morgan Freeman. Good night.